Okay, so Melissa just shared that she did this with someone, and the woman said that she could understand her skin a lot better by seeing this and not just having Melissa tell her, oh, this is what you should use. And so that's what we really want to do with this. If you are going to work virtually, you would have someone download the app themselves, and then they can send you their results before you meet them. So you have time to go through the products that it's showing you, and then set up a time to meet with them on Zoom or on FaceTime. And then you go through the results with the person. And if you are going to do like that, you would just, if you have products with you, you could hold them up and say, the skin analysis said you should use the charcoal mask. This is what it looks like. Whenever I'm holding up products, I usually will take, and I'm on Zoom, I'll take like a pen or something and say, like, see the comparison of how big this bottle is compared to the pen or, just an everyday product. This is how you use it. You don't need very much of it. If you have the products available, you could even put it on yourself while you're talking to the person about how to use them and just show them that way. And if you don't have products, you can just pull up their list. You can share your screen and say, okay, here's the products that it's suggesting. Here's how I would use that and why this would help your skin. If you are doing this in person and you don't have samples with you, or you're even just unsure of what to use, think of it as I get to understand her skin first and then create an experience for her. So just because you're using this app doesn't mean that you aren't really a good consultant because you don't have products with you. It's like you get to do both. And what's even better if you do have products with you is that when you see their scan, you actually can try exactly what it tells you to try versus guessing when you get in front of somebody. I don't know about anybody else. If you've ever been at a party or a situation, you say, what's everybody's skin type? And half the people have no idea. Or you say, what do you want to learn about? Tell me, like, what do you notice about your skin? Do you have anything with your skin that you'd like to fix? And they say, I have no idea. I've never thought about that question. So this is another good time that you can pull this up because it will help them understand their skin and give you a direction to go in, whether you have samples or not. If you are with someone in person, you can pull your phone up yourself and scan it for them instead of having to take time for them to download the app, and go step by step through what it's suggesting. The other thing that I loved about this idea is how many of us wish that we had better results with second bookings? I know sometimes I feel like I wish that I knew like the exact thing to say that everybody's like, yeah, let's meet again. This is the perfect tool for that. And when I was thinking about this, one way that you could do this is, let's say for those of us that are working with brides or you have a hostess, when you get to the party, you could scan the hostess's face and say, this is what we're going to talk about tonight because this is how her skin reads. If you want to have your skin analyzed at your own session, and then we can customize a session for you based on those results, then you could use this as your second booking tool. And depending on you could always even bump it up and say, we'll do the skin analysis at your second appointment for you. If you have 3 to 5 other people join you for yours, then I'll give you one of the products that's on your list for free or half price. I mean, you could make that an incentive too to turn that into a party. And then the structure of an appointment. So when you are connecting with people, it's always when you're doing the scan, you always still want to get to know somebody. We talked about this 2 weeks ago when we talked about like noticing all of the little things and making small talk and connecting and bonding with the people that you're meeting. Same thing here. You don't want to just walk up to somebody and say, hey, let me analyze your face and tell you all the things wrong with your face. People are not going to receive that very well. Um, Emma, she'll tell you that this really happened. So we and Maya too, we were doing Amy's Slumber Party, which is a local event here in Syracuse. And this year we thought we'll scan people's faces. And this one girl came over and she scanned her face and then she was like, no, I don't want the results. I do not want to know what's wrong with my skin. And she got like really offended that we were going to tell her and send her the scan. So if you just start out with that, people are not going to want to listen to that because they don't want to hear what's wrong. So instead, you want to connect with them, make a conversation first, get to know them a little bit. And one of the things you can do is just ask them, like, tell me about your skin. This is what we already do at parties, right? Tell me about your skin. What are you already doing for skincare? I always ask that because if you meet someone that says, I have never washed my face since I was born, or I only wash my face once a month, you're not going to get them to use the Skin Analyzer app and go through every single product on that. So you need to know what people are doing. Where if you have somebody who does the Analyzer app and they're like, I use serums, I do skincare morning and night, I do this, I do that, then you're going to be able to bump up their routine with what it's offering. So get to know the person first, then you can read the results and narrow it down to that person, which is what's going to make them trust you more by helping make it about them and what their outcome can be versus just trying to use it to sell them products. Another good question, besides just saying, tell me about your skin and what you do with your skin already, is what are you loving or frustrated with? Can we all like name one thing we love about our skin and one thing we're frustrated with?
I hate that I get red right here. And
Yeah,
then I like that it's not oily. Like I don't have oily skin.
yeah, exactly. I know like for me, I'm like, I know this one wrinkle that I have, but at the same time, like I'm pretty happy that most of the time with my skin. So asking people that question is going to get them to open up. It's going to get them to trust you. Once you build trust and connection with the person you're talking to, then you can have them either download the app or and scan it themselves if they are doing it virtually, or you can just have them scan analyze with your phone. Once they do it, instead of just jumping right to the results, asking them what they notice is also going to tell you a lot about the person and what they're looking for and how you can serve them in that situation. Because if they notice it and they say, oh, I don't really like how that came up as that result, or, I know I have a lot of wrinkles and that just showed me those, then you're going to have a way to go towards exactly what they're looking for versus, again, just selling to them products that they may or may not use. Recommendations, keep it simple. And like I said, base it on what they're currently doing. If it's somebody, even in my normal parties, if I meet somebody that lives on a farm, for some reason I feel like I meet a lot of farm people and they like rarely wash their face. I always tell them, if you do nothing else, start with micellar water. If you are not at a place in your life where you're going to use a cleanser and a moisturizer in a day and a night and this and that, at least start with micellar water because I know that's as simple as it can get for that person. And, if they do more, then you can add on and say, okay, if you're already washing your face morning and night, then this is a great time to add a serum to fix what you're looking for. So even though you're using the Skin Analyzer app, still work it full circle. If you're not familiar with what full circle means, basically full circle parties is when we are selling products, but we're also getting referrals. We're also sharing the opportunity and if like getting another appointment out of it is like what full circle means is you're doing everything. So even if you are just sharing the app with someone and you're doing it virtually, you can say, hey, do you have any friends or family that might also like to have their skin analyzed that I can connect with? Text me their names and numbers or write them down on a sheet of paper. Obviously, if you're doing this in a party situation, we have our profile cards that you can write that down on. And then just asking what feels like a good starting point for them. And you can also use the Mirror Me app, which we'll go more into next week. But especially if someone doesn't know a whole lot, and I feel like we do meet a lot of people who are like, I want to know skincare, but I would love to know a little bit about makeup. Then you can combine them and turn that into two appointments where you can do the skin analysis first and then the mirror me the second time. Does this feel like this is helpful going through some of these ideas?
Yes.
So the other thing that I came up with, just gotta pull it up here, is I actually came up with scripts that you can use. So one of the things that we have been doing with our scripts in the past, if you are looking for new leads, one way to get new leads is to use our Facebook groups as a booking strategy or a lead generating strategy where you can go into local Facebook groups. So like for me, I would go in like the Chittenango, Bridgeport groups, pick some groups that are near you. And it used to be where we'd post like I'm looking for 30 women to do a makeover with. I mean, we still have those scripts, but I came up with scripts that would be really cool for this. And this will make it really easy to be able to um, connect with women using the Skin Analyzer app as well. So the first one is for posting on Facebook or any social media. I know a few people are really getting excited about building their network through social media. So we have four scripts, a few different scripts here to start with. So there is a curiosity hook. So that's the first one you could post. I tried a skin analysis tool and it told me something I was not expecting about my skin. Now I'm curious who else wants to see theirs. I need a few faces to practice on. If you meet with someone through your social media, they can do this virtually, or if they live close to you or somebody that you know, why not meet them in person? There's another one that's more a relatable post. Okay, to be honest, do you actually know your skin type or are we all just guessing? Didn't I say that a minute ago? Most people have no idea what their skin type is. So I've been using a skin analyzer and it's been eye-opening. Message me if you want to do yours. There's a soft invite. I'm doing complimentary 5-minute skin scans this week. Super quick and actually really helpful. No pressure, just fun learning it and learning your skin better. Comment me or message me if you want one. Or if you want to do more of a story style, you could do a skin check. I'm testing out our skin analyzer this week and need a few more people who want to try it. So these you can copy and paste right into your social media accounts. Then it also has some where you can directly send messages to people, whether it is friends or family, or somebody through Facebook or Instagram, however you want to send it. You could do this to just in your friends and family and send them a text. I would word this slightly differently since it's saying they liked or commented, but you could just say, hey, I'm working on doing some skin analysis with this really cool app, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to try it out for me. And then when you do send this, then there is a response that you can text to them. And actually highlight this because this is not a part that you'll send. Okay, so basically if they say yes, then you can book them if you want to do a booking in person or book them virtually. Go through that. And here's a couple scripts depending on which way you want to do it, and that you can send them. If you are going, if they are interested, I would suggest figuring out a day and a time that you can connect with them. And you could do it through texting, but you're going to get better results if you can get them on a FaceTime or a Zoom or Facebook Messenger video chat where you're actually talking to them. Or if they're like, I'm not going to get on camera with you, at least a phone call or a voice chat. If you can be voice chatting or face-to-face chatting, you're going to get better results when you talk to somebody. So that I wrote these out that way. And then you'll go over the results with them. Like I said, get to know them first is the key there, and then talk about the results. We also want to do our 2+2+2. So if you are not familiar with that, Mary Kay Ash suggested that when we sell products, we check in with people 2 days after they get them, 2 weeks, and then 2 months to make sure that they like what they want and that we're still in contact with them, just checking in. So here is a text that you could send somebody after you have talked to them or if they've bought products from you that you're just checking in with them and want to see if they've noticed anything. or notice any changes. In this, we also have a 7-day skin analyzer social media plan. So if you want to post on here every day for 7 days, here are different ways to do that. From a story to a couple posts to sharing results, doing a personal share. I won't read everything here, so you can read this and copy and paste these yourself. Make them your own also. But what I was saying with the Facebook group posting to get new leads, so when you are in your groups, here are a couple different ways that you could take one of these posts and use this. Don't you could use all three of them if you want to. I personally like this first one the best, but I came up with a few different options so you could choose which one sounds the best to you or feels the best for the group that you're in. But I like this helping practice angle. So, hi, I'm working on growing my small beauty business here locally, and I'm looking for a few women who would be open to letting me practice using a skin analysis tool. It's super simple, just a quick selfie, and I'll send you personalized results and suggestions based on your skin. No pressure to buy anything. I'm just looking to get more comfortable using it and meet some local women. Message me if you'd like to be one of my practice spaces. Then down here below those options, we have what to say when somebody is responds to you. So again, how we would have done this before, you don't necessarily need to put everything right in the public comments. So you would just say, I'm going to message you, then send them a private message. And you could use any of these and then what to say in your direct messages to them, depending on if you are wanting to just do a virtual consult with them or you want to meet them individually. There's a couple options, or if you want to give them an option to meet you virtually or in person, there are both of these in here. So I'll share all of this so you can read through these and pick the one that makes the most sense for you. Um, and I will challenge everybody to have at least 3 people do a skin analysis this week and then talk to them about the products that they share with you. All right, any questions on how to use this tool, way, or even ideas on how to use it that I did not suggest? Okay, I feel like Colette's thinking. I see a thinking face.
No, I was just wondering if the is the skin analyzer tool different than the tool that you use to scan your face to find out what shade you are, or is it all the same?
Oh, the one for the foundation matching?
Yeah, that's different, right?
Yes. The
Okay.
foundation, they are similar. The foundation matching one is on your website. That one's not an app.
Okay. That I was getting confused I think. That's why I was
And
thinking.
and just on that note, we will have new foundations. They're redoing all of the foundations, foundation names, shades, everything
Yeah,
in the summer catalog. So if you do have anybody that loves their foundation shade, just be aware that that's going to change.
got it. Thank you.
Melissa, did you have something?
I was going to say they're changing everything in May. So it would also be a great way to connect with your customers that do have foundation, saying, hey, they're changing the formula, all those things, just like when something is being um, phased out, that same type script, I guess, when you reach out to people is another way that you can do it for that, for the just the foundation part.
That is true. And also, while we are talking about changes that are coming in May, there are going to be price increases on a handful of products too. Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
Yes. Um, Okay, somebody else have any thoughts or questions about the Skin Analyzer app? If anybody has an idea of how to use it that we did not talk about just now, I would love that because I love that Mary Kay gives us these tools, but sometimes trying to figure it out by yourself is a little overwhelming. And that's also something, don't feel like, okay, now this is like a whole new thing I have to learn. Honestly, just scan somebody's face. It's the same as when we do a party and you're talking to somebody about the products. This just makes it easier because once it scans their face, it tells you what they need versus you guessing what they need. Okay, so I will share the document that I just like made with all of the different scripts in the Facebook group and I'll email it out. And I'll put a few of the other things that we talked about with this in there. But honestly, I think that this is a great way to get second appointments. And especially if you are newer and you don't necessarily have a lot of leads, or like Melissa's moving and she's not going to have a lot of leads in her new area. Or even if you do have like your list of leads, sometimes it's nice to be like, oh man, I really wish I had people in my neighborhood versus having to drive far away. So this is something that can get you connected as locally as possible if you go into like those Facebook groups that are in your specific neighborhood, which is a nice way to do it, and to share it with people that way. And there's nothing else on that note, then I do have a quote for the night. Just gotta find it. Okay, so my quote is Mary Kay Ash. This is one of my favorite things that she said. Don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. So sometimes we think we need the perfect setup, we need the perfect products, we need to have samples, we need to have an experience, we need to have this and that. And really, it all comes down to how are we connecting with people and how are we showing them what they need, and how can we serve them already where they are. And so just remembering that growth is simply about being willing to use what's already in your hands, to use a tool that has been given us that then we can make it easier for other people. So that is what I have for that. And then if